Hello everybody, welcome back to part 2 of this playthrough of Alone in the Dark. Last time we explored the attic and some of the upstairs, and now we are here on the second floor. This part of the playthrough is going to focus a lot on the storyline, so there's mainly two texts that I'm going to be reading here, and they're pretty long, so that's going to compose a majority of the video. Let's begin by going in this room. If you take a look at that ghost sitting in the middle, you do not want to touch him. General rule of this game and also of life in general, you do not want to touch ghosts. That's not good for you. If you touch that guy, he'll turn into an abomination and kill you instantly. So I searched that closet there for some cartridges for my rifle. Also got that gramophone, and I'm being very careful here not to touch the ghost. Can leave that poker, but I'm going to take the matchbox. And if you search this picture here in the corner, it says it's a photograph of Jeremy with his niece. His niece is Emily Hartwood, the second playable character in this game. So I'm done here in this room, and I do not want to touch that ghost, of course. Gonna head over to the other side of this floor and head down this really cool hallway because it makes use of some different camera angles that really makes it look like a horror kind of game, which I really enjoy. This room right here is Jeremy Hartwood's room. And if you search this curtain, it makes some weird sounds. Listen to that, that's so weird. And that's a hint that there's a monster there. So I'm actually going to pull out my rifle and get ready to blast him to another planet. As soon as you grab this notebook here on the mantelpiece, the monster will come out. So there he is. I'm going to take my aim here. Boom. I missed. Okay. And I missed again. Hold up. There we go. Alright, got him. I missed twice, but I finally got him. Let me go ahead and read this notebook. This is Jeremy Hartwood's diary.
Diary of Jeremy Hartwood. September 27th, 1924. I have decided to keep this diary. Too many inexplicable events have taken place recently. Never have dreams so haunted my every waking moment. Perhaps my romantic mind was too dull, and has only now woken up to these new paths and visions. Some, seeing my recent paintings, may question my sanity. I can only ask them, what is sanity? Where does madness begin? September 28th, 1924. The night is pitch black. I am again drenched in sweat. I was wandering in the dunes, among giant standing stones. They were arranged in a circle, and the wind whistled about them. I plunged my hand into the soil and felt that repulsive thing which was trying to catch me. It seized me. I struggled to break free of its loathsome embrace and managed to tear my hand away. It was covered in sticky substance. I was gripping a knife. October 5th, 1924. The stone circle is a pentacle. Derceto's library is filled with books on the occult. I will study those books until I find some explanation for the dreams. The visions that haunt me must be connected to my discoveries. I shall have to undertake a profound exploration of my dreams. December 16th. Dear God, I have found the knife. It was hidden here, and what I have learned fills me with apprehension. It is a sacrificial dagger belonging to some unholy cult. The thought of that blade tearing through human flesh horrifies me, yet I must continue my research. Derceto is a storehouse of treasures. Was my father right after all? January 23rd. I spend all my days plunged in dusty books. The servants are convinced I am mad. At night, I awaken them with my screams. The dreams are draining what sanity I still have. I have tried staying awake, but in vain. My visions have changed. No doubt the influence of my father's research. February 7th, 1925. The Dark Man, that is what I call him, has revealed his true face to me. He appeared, as usual, near the fireplace, but this time he approached me. His terrible smile will haunt me to my dying day. His breath was ice, and his burning eyes froze me. I could not move. I know, as surely as I have ever known anything, that the face I saw, the face that has turned my nights into hellish torture, is the mask of death. March 10th. My exhaustion is beyond description. The endless reading burns my eyes. It seems that pirates frequented the area. Dr. Herbert insists I keep to my bed. I have moved to another bedroom and sleep much better now. The Dark Man has not gone, however. I know it. He will wait for as long as he must. Unless I, Jeremy Hartwood, can find a way to send him back to whatever hell he comes from. March 11th. My poor knowledge of Greek and Latin is a serious handicap to my reading. I have, nevertheless, made a great step forward. I drew the symbol on the floor. He can no longer go there. I want him to understand that I can do the same thing in my bedroom. I can imagine his rage and frustration. Only last night he found his way back into my dreams. March 13th. The translation will seriously dent what money I have left. I cannot paint. My pictures are clearly the work of a lunatic. The collector Thornhill's embarrassed smile was proof of that. March 29th. He has come back. He found the door to my dreams. I am too weary to attempt any defense. I have no strength left to fight, and he knows it. He considers me dead already. Could I possibly? March 30th. How ironic! The cave my father sought for so many years is here, beneath the house. Waits. The butler discovered a crack in the cellar wall. A breeze blows in through it, icy and repugnant. I am filled with horror at the thought of my father dying in this place. I will carry to my grave the vision of his face contorted in the agony of that fatal heart attack. His body was twisted. He had wept. His fingernails were torn and bloody from scrabbling at the floor. Dr. Gray concluded that death had been due to a heart attack. It was Waits, who some time later was informed that my poor father had in fact bitten off his tongue and choked on his own blood. March 31st. I explored the caverns in a dream. The Dark Man came with me. Strangely, I felt almost well. How can I describe what I saw? No. What words are capable of explaining such evil? I realized that my death was of no interest to him. The Dark Man wants something else. He seeks a body. His avid servants are now free. I am the cause. It is almost funny. A curse is on Derceto. From the foundations to the very rooftop. I can no longer struggle, let alone eradicate the evil that grips the house. The end is very near. I can feel it. I have taken the decision to... May he who finds this diary pray for my soul.
Okay, so that very lengthy diary gives some incredible insight into Jeremy Hartwood's descent into madness. Even the voice acting as the journal entries progress get crazier and crazier, which is pretty cool. So I'm just going to leave his diary here. I don't want to cram up my inventory with needless stuff. Next, I'm going to explore this bathroom here, and there's a tentacle monster in there that you cannot kill. So you got to do everything you got to do in the bathroom quickly. I'm going to search this cupboard here, find a first aid kit, and I'm going to peace out. And I'm going to go back in and grab the jug. If I try to do both at once, I'm probably going to get eaten alive, so... Okay, I still got eaten alive there. So yeah, you can't kill that monster, so you just got to go quickly while you're doing things. So let me drink some of this flask to recover some health. And I just kind of position myself to throw some of these items back in there, which is what I'm going to do right now. Let me throw this flask and also the empty first aid kit. There we go, let me throw that. Alright. So if your inventory fills up, you can't pick up other stuff, so that's why I kind of drop everything, as I don't need it anymore. Here is the first room that's in the dark in this game, a tribute to the title, I suppose. If I use the matchbox, I can light the lantern I got in the attic and pick up this very heavy statue and another book. I'm going to set my lamp down here so I can search this nightstand next to the bed. And in there I'm going to find some bullets, which I can put into a revolver that I'm going to find later on in this game. So let me do that. And next, I'm going to go ahead and read the book that we just got and get a little bit more of story going.
A Brightness from Afar by Lord Boleskine, an account of his celebrated voyage to New England, 1824, Alistair Publications, Cambridge.
Following a splendid journey, the sunny harbour came into sight. The locals were much impressed with one's arrival in their midst. One had time to sketch several of them and notice signs of degeneracy. Some children showed one their queer hands that would inspire uneasiness. Upon the promise of a few coins, a child is undertaken to reveal to one a most prodigious phenomenon of a natural order. One admits to being skeptical as to the prodigiousness of the marvel, whatever it may be. Indeed, one suspects it to be little more than an evening stroll to some charming wooden hut situated in the forest hereabouts. One will nonetheless go, for it is always well to submit to such local enthusiasms. One admits to being somewhat flabbergasted. The Milky Way shone like the fires of the apocalypse from the inky celestial vault. Certain distant stars, normally invisible to the naked eye, were clearly visible, glittering indeed with a strange intensity. The heavy clouds that had settled above the village had no hold over that place. It would be pointless to offer here the names of the constellations one perceived in utter clarity. Apart from the interminable length of such a list, one might conceivably risk being charged with exaggeration. The cross cast its shadow on the ground. The sea in the distance was dead calm. Tonight, one will return to that spot and draw those stars. Tomorrow night, one will at last see Halley's comet in all its brilliance. The youngster will carry torches, despite one's developed sense of direction. Honed by years of travel, one feels incapable of finding one's way through the dark forest unaided. The drawings will, one is convinced, set light to the souls of men. Such a moon! One lost count of the craters, so sharply was their definition. Loath as one is to seem excessive in one's appraisal, one cannot but feel that the forest clearing is indeed a place outside the common laws of time and space. Surely it is not an hallucination. How strange to consider that idle conversation, some research in the British Museum, and a voyage to this backward village should culminate in so astounding a discovery. It may be that others have noticed the extraordinary nature of that place. How else could one explain the presence of that cross?
Okay, so that book is actually a reference to another game by Infogrames, the producer of this game. It's a reference to one of their games called Shadow of the Comet, which is based on some of the writing by H.P. Lovecraft. It's another horror adventure game. I actually never played it, I just know it's a reference to it, but it seems pretty interesting. I would love to try that someday. Anyways, let me show you over here. There's a door that I'm not going to go in yet at the end of this hallway. I'm not able to do anything in there yet, but I will be coming back to it later on, so make a note of it. But for now, I'm going to go back to where we started this video in front of that armor statue and just kind of take him out. If you get too close to him, he will wreck you. He will start fighting you and gut you like a pig. So what you can do is you can stand in front of him and throw this statue. Bam, make that bitch slap sound, and he'll just fall down. And you can grab the sword. It's gonna come into it's gonna become handy later on. So I'm gonna head down to the first floor of this haunted house, So I hope you enjoyed this part. I know not much action happened, but we did get a lot of the storyline going, and I hope that was insightful for you guys. And join me next time. I'll continue to make my way through this haunted house and hopefully escape into freedom. So be sure to subscribe and catch you next time.